A very warm welcome to tech mining. Explore features of interactive grid. To get hands-on exposure, you need a couple of tables that come with a sample application. Execute these following steps to install the sample application to get the required tables. Click Gallery. Then click on Sample Apps. Scroll down a bit to Sample Interactive Grid application. In previous versions of Apex, these applications were downloaded to your computer, in zip format, then we've used to import these downloaded zip applications to our workspace. But in this new version of Apex, directly click the Install button. Leave these advanced settings to default. Click Install Application button. This will install the application directly to your workspace. This application ID and name is auto-generated. In the SQL Workshop menu, click the Object Browser option. See the two required tables. This is the view of our installed sample interactive grid application. Groups are used to associate columns together, in the grid and single row view. Open Sales Web Application. Create a new page by clicking the Create Page button. Select Interactive Grid option. Enter 100 for page number. Column groups for page name. Set page mode to normal, because it's a normal page. Don't include form page. On the data source screen, select local database. Set source type to SQL query. Source code link is provided in video description. After downloading, open Part 5 folder, you'll get files used in video. Keep the default off value of editing enabled. Expand navigation. Breadcrumb is turned on by default. Set breadcrumb parent entry to no parent entry. Navigation is also turned on by default. Leave these values to default. Click Create Page button. In the Page Designer, under the Column Groups region, right-click the Column Groups node, select Create Column Group. In the Properties pane, set the heading attribute for this new group to Identity. Under these groups, columns will be placed at runtime. Create two more groups. Enter Compensation, Notes, for their headings attribute. Save your work. Expand the Columns node. Click the AMP number column. Set its type to hidden. Click eName column. Scroll down to the Layout section and set this group property. This step will place eName column under Identity group at runtime. Set group property for remaining columns as performed in video. Hit Save and Run Page button. This is page 100, in which columns are displayed in specified group. Execute these following steps to enable editing in the interactive grid page 100. Click the column group's interactive grid region. In the Properties pane, click the Attributes tab. Turn on the enabled attribute. Make sure all these three data manipulation operations are also enabled. Scroll down to the Toolbar section, to ensure that the Show property is turned on. Also the two toolbar buttons, Reset and Save, are also enabled. Reset removes any customizations, such as filters, column width, ordering, and so forth, and reloads the report definition from the server. Save will only save changes made to this interactive grid, without needing to save the whole page. The Save button will be displayed only when the interactive grid is editable, and the end user has the authorization to add, update, or delete records. After making these changes, save and run the page. If you encounter this error, interactive grid column groups doesn't have a primary key column defined which is required for editing or in a master detail relationship. Then click the AMP number column in the page designer, and turn on the primary key property in the source section. Save and run the page. Note that now all the data manipulation buttons are enabled. This Selection Actions menu is added automatically after Enable Editing. This is Row Selector. It indicates the current selected row. These all features are added automatically, after enabling the Edit feature of the interactive grid. Interactive grid is a page component, which is used to display data in row and column matrix. Rows have fixed height, and columns have a specific width, that can be adjusted by dragging the border between column headers. Columns can be reordered with drag and drop, by dragging the handle at the start of a column heading. Data in columns can be sorted in ascending and descending order, using the buttons in the column heading. Columns can be frozen using the Freeze button in the column heading pop-up menu. To hide a column, click this Hide button in the menu. This action vanishes the name column. The toolbar includes a Reset button by default, which restores all the report settings to their defaults. Interactive Grid also allows you to manipulate data simply by clicking on a cell, and editing its value, which is not available in interactive reports. To enter edit mode, press the Edit button. Test it by doing some changes. This option is a menu. Select Delete Row. This row is now marked as deleted. Use the Revert Changes option from this menu, to revert a record marked as deleted. Select Duplicate Row option. It duplicates the selected row. Use Add Row option to add a new row. Type any name. If you try to leave the page while there are unsaved changes, you will be notified. Any action that causes refreshing the data, such as changing a filter or sorting, will warn. If there are unsaved changes, pagination does not affect changes. Add another row. Type N in on leave column, because it is mandatory column. All edits are stored locally, until you press the Save button. Click Single Row View option. As its name suggests, it displays single row at a time. Editing is also supported in this view. Click Report View to switch back. This is Processing tab. A process named Save Interactive Grid Data is added to Processing tab. With an interactive grid, automatic row processing, DML type process to perform DML operations, without writing any SQL code. Data manipulation language or DML operations are insert, update and deletion of records, which we performed in previous steps. This process is added by default when an interactive grid is made editable. In this step, you will change default types of some columns to some other types. With page 100 being displayed in Page Designer, click Rendering tab. Expand Columns node, click Job column. Set its type attribute to Radio Group. When you select Radio Group Type, you are asked to associate a list of values to populate item. For List of Values Type attribute, select SQL Query. Enter source code query in SQL Query box. SQL Query fetches distinct job IDs from table, then shows them in the job column using Radio Group Type. Turn off Display Extra Values property, turn off Display Null Values property. Next, click MGR column, change its type to Popup-LOV. Then select SQL Query for List of Values type, enter statement in SQL Query box. Click Higher Date column, make sure that type attribute of this column is set to Date Picker. Click on Leave column, set its type to Switch. This will display on or off state for this column. Finally, click Tags column. Change its type from Text Area to Shuttle. Set List of Values type to Static Values by clicking Display 1 Display 2 text next to the Static Values property. Enter following static values. Here you specified a pair of static display and return values. Here you didn't use return value, because return value is optional. If a return value is not included, then return value equals display value. Click OK button to close static values screen. Click Save and Run Page button. Double-click on any record under Job column, to see values in a radio group. Do same as for Manager column, this will display a drop-down list in selected cell, carrying names of President and Managers. Press Tab key of your keyboard, the cursor's focus will move on to higher date column and date picker window will pop up. Keep pressing Tab key, to access on-leave column, which will now show on and off switch. Access Tags column, which should come up with a shuttle, carrying 5 static values defined in previous step. Using arrow key named Move All, move these values to right pane. Click Save button to write your changes to database. In this step, you will see how to protect rows from DML operations in Interactive Grid. With page 100 being displayed in Page Designer, click Column Groups region, in SQL Query section, change Query and use Source Code Query. SQL Query adds a column named Control, to implement a simple rule that managers and presidents cannot be edited or deleted. This column is then selected in Allowed Row Operations column property under Attributes tab. Expand Columns node. After amending the SQL query you will see Control column, click this column, set its type to hidden. Also turn on the Query Only property, under Source. This way Control column will query only and will not be displayed at runtime. Click the Column Groups Interactive Grid region. Then click Attributes tab in the Property pane. In the Edit section, for Allowed Row Operations column property, select Control column. Save page and run it. Click Edit button. In edit mode, rows that cannot be edited or deleted are grayed out. DML operations will not implement on rows marked in gray color. Another exciting feature of Interactive Grid is scroll paging, also known as infinite scrolling or virtual paging. You need a database table with lots of records to assess this feature. In this feature, you will use this table, which carries more than 4,000 records. For this feature implementation, we need to create a new page. Click Interactive Grid option. Set page number to 111. Set page name to scroll paging. Enter following select statement. Rest of the page properties will remain same. Click Create Page button. In Page Designer, click Scroll Paging region, then in Properties pane click Attributes tab. Make sure under Pagination section, Type is set to Scroll, and Show Total Row Count is turned on. Click Save and Run Page button. Scroll down using your mouse wheel to test this amazing feature. After enabling this feature, Region appears to carry entire result set, but rows are rendered on demand as you scroll. When you scroll down in Interactive Grid, model fetches data from server as it is needed by view. You can even drag scroll bar handle all the way to bottom and then scroll up. You will see total number of records at the bottom of interactive grid. Interactive grid makes it effortless to create master detail relationships. You can create all types of master detail screens very easily. From SQL Workshop menu, select SQL Scripts option. Click Upload button. In Upload Scripts screen, click Choose File button. In Opened dialog box, from Source Code in Part 5 folder, select Master Detail SQL file. Click Upload button. In SQL Scripts interface, click Run button appearing in last column. On Run Scripts screen, click Run Now button. Four tables along with relevant data will be created. All statements should be successful, and should displaying 0 errors. Script will execute to create 4 tables, MD continent, country, city, and population tables, along with relevant data to demonstrate master detail feature. You can view these tables from SQL Workshop in Object Browser interface. Click Data button, to view data in these 4 tables. This data displays at runtime. In App Builder interface, create a new page by clicking Create Page button. This time select first option, Blank Page. In blank page we have to create all components manually. Set page number to 112. Name to Master Detail. Page mode to normal. Rest of the page properties will remain same. Click Create Page button. In Page Designer, right-click Components node in Rendering tab, select Create Region. Set following properties for new region. This region will display data from continent table. This asterisk query will fetch all records from this table. After entering SQL query, expand columns node under this region. Click Continent ID column. Set its type to hidden. Under Source section turn on Primary Key property. You must define a primary key column for an interactive grid region, which is required to establish a master detail relationship. Create another region under Continents region by right-clicking Main Components node. This region will act as detail for the Continents region. At runtime when you select a continent, this region will display a list of countries in selected continent. Expand Columns node under Countries region. Click Country ID column. Set its type to hidden, turn on Primary Key property, under Source. You set Primary Key property to Yes, because this region will act as a master for Cities region created in next step. Now associate this detail region to its master, Continents. Click Countries region, set Master region property, under Master Detail, to Continents. This should be set when this region is detail region in a master detail relationship with another region on page. For master detail relationship to work correctly, you must also select column in detail region, which are foreign keys to master region, by setting master column property. Click Continent ID column in Countries region. Set its type property to hidden. Master column, under Master Detail, to Continent ID, which references same column in Master Region. Create another region, place it under Countries region. This region will show a list of cities when you select a country from its master region. Expand Columns node under Cities region. Click City ID column. Set its type to hidden. Turn on Primary Key property, under Source. Click Country ID column in this region. Set type of this column also to hidden. Master column to Country ID to point to same column in Countries region. Create last region to display population of a city. Expand Columns node under Population region. Click Population ID column. Set its type to hidden. Since this is last region, you do not need to specify this column as a primary key. However, you have to set a couple of properties for City ID column in this region to associate it with its master. Set its type property to hidden, master column to City ID. That's it. Save and run page. Click row representing Europe in first region. As you click this row, second region will display countries in Europe continent. Click Germany in second region. This will refresh third region with a list of cities in Germany. Click Berlin city to see its population in fourth region. Do same as for South America continent. We've learned following techniques in video while implementing various features. Installing sample application in Apex Workspace. Learned about column groups in Oracle Apex. Enabled editing feature of interactive grid. Changed columns types from default. Deeply explored interactive grid features. Edited data by DML operations. Learned about auto-generated processes by Apex wizards. Protected rows from DML operations. Learned about scroll paging feature. And master detail relationship in interactive grid. Thanks for watching.